This is not just another electric car. This is the one we've been promised for years. It started as a rumor, a whisper called Project Redwood, a single line in an audacious master plan. We've been calling it the Model 2, and now it's been officially revealed. For years, the idea of a truly affordable mass-market Tesla felt like a myth. The number that always got thrown around seemed almost impossible: $25,000. Some whispered that with incentives, it could even dip below $20,000. Well, the most anticipated car of the decade, the sub-$25,000 Tesla, is no longer just a whisper. The design is out, the specs are being debated, and reports suggest it's getting ready for production. But let's be absolutely clear. As of right now, in early 2026, this car is not in showrooms. You can't test drive one just yet. So everything we're about to discuss is a breakdown of the official reveal, the supplier details, and the logical conclusions we can draw from everything Tesla has shown us. This isn't a traditional review of a car we've driven for a week. Instead, this is the ultimate test of the idea itself. Now that the details are out, can a car this affordable truly be a real Tesla? Can it possibly live up to all this hype? Today, we're going to sift through the noise and build the most complete picture possible of what the Tesla Model 2 will actually be. We'll explore the revolutionary manufacturing that makes the price possible, break down the specs, and see how it stacks up against every other budget EV on the market. So, is the $18,000 car finally here? Let's find out. Let's start with the single most important number attached to this car: the price. Headlines have been buzzing, but the official word from Tesla is a starting MSRP right around $25,000 before any government incentives. Elon Musk has talked about a $25,000 Tesla for years, and now it seems they're finally making it happen to directly compete with the rise of affordable Chinese EVs. So where does that mythical $18,000 figure come from? That number is what you get after factoring in the full $7,500 federal EV tax credit, which would bring the real cost down to just $17,500 for buyers who qualify. But, and this is a huge but, its eligibility for that credit is a massive question mark. To qualify, there are strict rules about where the battery components and minerals come from and where the car is put together. It's widely believed the Model 2 will use LFP, or lithium iron phosphate batteries, likely sourced from suppliers like CATL or BYD in China. If Tesla uses those imported battery packs, the car might not qualify for the full tax credit, which could seriously change the math for U.S. buyers. This is the tightrope Tesla has to walk, using cost-effective global supply chains to hit that low price while trying to meet domestic sourcing rules for those juicy incentives. Production is expected to happen in several places, including Giga Texas, Giga Berlin, and a potential new factory in Mexico. North American assembly is a point in its favor for the tax credit, but that battery question is still the crucial variable. And we can't ignore the elephant in the room: inflation. That $25,000 target was first talked about years ago. Since then, costs for everything have gone up. Some analysts are skeptical, suggesting a price closer to $27,000 or even $30,000 might be more realistic by the time the car actually hits the market. Still, the core promise of this car is to be the first Tesla that millions of people can actually afford, moving the brand from a luxury item to a true mass-market player. A $25,000 starting price would be revolutionary. A sub-$20,000 after incentives would be an extinction-level event for many competitors. But hitting that price isn't magic. It's the result of completely reinventing how a car is built. The key to the Model 2's price is understanding that Tesla didn't just design a new car, they designed a new factory. The vehicle is built on Tesla's next-gen platform, which Musk claims will cost half as much to produce as the current Model 3 and Y platform. This isn't about cutting corners, it's about fundamentally rethinking the 100-year-old assembly line. The first big innovation is an evolution of gigacasting. With the Model Y, Tesla uses huge presses to stamp the entire rear underbody from a single piece of aluminum, replacing 70 different parts. For the Model 2, they're taking it to the extreme, likely casting the entire front section, rear section, and using a structural battery pack as the floor. This drastically reduces the number of parts, robots, factory space, and the time it takes to build a car. Fewer parts means simpler, faster, and cheaper. But the real revolution is what Tesla calls the unboxed process. Traditional car making is linear. A car body starts at one end and moves down a line while workers awkwardly reach inside to install things. It's slow and inefficient. The unboxed process, which Tesla has detailed, breaks the car into modules like Lego blocks. Instead of one long line, you have several shorter parallel lines. The front gigacasting gets built out over here, the rear module over there, and the doors get their parts somewhere else entirely. Teams work on these sections all at once with wide-open access before bringing them together for one final assembly. Lars Moravi, Tesla's VP of Vehicle Engineering, called it radical and something nobody has ever pulled off before. This parallel process could drastically cut down the factory footprint and assembly time, which saves a ton of money. The battery tech is the other pillar of this cost-cutting plan. The Model 2 is expected to exclusively use LFP batteries, which are cheaper to make than the nickel-based cells in long-range Teslas. They're also more durable for daily charging to 100%, making them perfect for a lower-range, affordable commuter car. It's highly unlikely the Model 2 will use the more expensive 4680 battery cells, which are currently reserved for higher-end vehicles like the Cybertruck. When you combine gigacasting, the unboxed process, cheaper LFP batteries, and extreme automation, the path to a $25,000 car starts to look less like a fantasy and more like an engineering inevitability. So what does this thing actually look like? Now that it's been unveiled, we know the answer. The Model 2 is a sporty, compact crossover. Think of it as a smaller, more angular Model Y. This makes total sense. Compact SUVs are the hottest-selling cars on the planet, and a baby Model Y has massive appeal. The design language borrows heavily from the Cybertruck, with sharp, angular lines and a futuristic vibe. It has that iconic, grille-free Tesla front end, but with slimmer, horizontal LED headlights that give it a wide, aggressive look. Some renders even show a full-width light bar, a popular feature on modern EVs that gives it a unique nighttime signature. The overall shape is a coupe crossover with a sleek, sloping roofline that's all about aerodynamics for better range. Every design choice is obsessed with efficiency. The hood is smooth and sculpted to channel air cleanly over the body, and there are no fake vents. Every opening is a functional part of the car's aerodynamics. One of the best side effects of gigacasting is its impact on build quality. Since the front and rear are single massive pieces, there are far fewer individual panels to align. In theory, this should lead to much tighter, more consistent panel gaps, fixing a long-running complaint about earlier Teslas. There are also some rugged design touches, like black plastic cladding around the wheel arches and lower body, which leans into that crossover look and makes it seem more robust. It's a smart play, mixing the futuristic Tesla aesthetic with the practical style that buyers in this segment love. Ultimately, the design nails two key goals. It's instantly recognizable as a Tesla, and it looks anything but cheap. The final design is modern, simple, and confident, a car that looks like it belongs in 2026 and makes other budget cars feel dated. Step inside the Model 2 and you'll find the most extreme version of Tesla's minimalist design philosophy yet. If you thought the Model 3's interior was sparse, the Model 2 takes it even further, all in the name of cutting costs and simplifying production. The centerpiece, of course, is a large horizontal touchscreen. This screen will control absolutely everything: speed, maps, climate, music, and all the car's settings. Don't look for a traditional instrument cluster behind the steering wheel. That info is baked into the main display, just like in the Model 3 and Y. This is a huge cost saver, since it removes an entire component and simplifies the dashboard wiring. But where are the compromises? In a sub-$25,000 car, they have to exist. The first place you'll see them is in the materials. While Tesla aims for a premium feel, expect more hard-wearing plastics instead of soft-touch surfaces and wood trim found in pricier models. While some concepts showed off fancy features like quilted leather and ambient lighting, it's more likely the base model will have simpler cloth or synthetic leather seats. The steering wheel might be a bit controversial. To streamline production and lean into the self-driving future, Tesla could use a yoke-style or button-heavy wheel, getting rid of even more physical stocks and controls. This follows the design path of the new Model S and X and the Cybertruck. But even with the cost-cutting, the tech is one area that Tesla won't back down on. The user interface will be just as fast and fluid as any other Tesla. Over-the-air software updates will be standard, meaning the car will keep getting new features and improvements over its lifetime. Standard autopilot is a given, and the car is almost certainly going to ship with the hardware for full self-driving, making it a future-proofed machine even in its basic form. Thanks to the electric platform, the cabin should feel surprisingly spacious for its size. With no transmission tunnel, the interior is optimized for passenger room. It won't be a cavernous SUV, but it should be very competitive with other compact crossovers and hatchbacks. The interior of the Model 2 is a masterclass in calculated minimalism. It strips away everything that isn't absolutely necessary and reinvests those savings into the tech that defines the Tesla brand: the screen, the software, and the promise of an autonomous future. When you hear budget EV, you probably assume the performance and range will be disappointing, but this is a Tesla and the brand has a reputation to protect. While the Model 2 won't be breaking any land speed records, the specs suggest it will be anything but slow and more than capable for daily driving. Let's talk range first. Based on the expected battery size and efficiency goals, the most common estimate is a real-world range of around 250 to 300 miles for the standard model. Tesla knows that 250 miles is a critical psychological barrier for people switching to EVs, so they will likely aim to clear that hurdle. The battery itself is expected to be an LFP pack of about 53 kilowatt-hours. This chemistry is not only cheaper, but lets you charge to 100% every day without worrying about long-term battery degradation, making the full range usable all the time. For a car starting at $25,000, a 250-mile range would be incredibly competitive. Now for performance. The base model is expected to be rear-wheel drive, a classic Tesla choice that focuses on driver engagement. With the instant torque of an electric motor, even the standard Model 2 should feel zippy in the city. Projections for the 0 to 60 mile/hour time for the base model are in the neighborhood of 6 to 7 seconds. That won't pin you to your seat, but it's much quicker than most gas-powered economy cars. Of course, it wouldn't be a Tesla without a faster option. A dual-motor, all-wheel drive performance trim is almost certainly in the works. For this version, rumors point to a much quicker 0 to 60 time, possibly dipping under 5 seconds. That would make the Model 2 performance a true pocket rocket, combining a light, compact body with the thrilling acceleration Tesla is known for. The ride and handling will likely be tuned for a mix of comfort and efficiency, and a key feature will be Tesla's regenerative braking, which enables one-pedal driving that captures energy back into the battery and extends your usable range. This combination of range and performance is at the heart of the Model 2's appeal. It aims to deliver a driving experience that doesn't feel like a compromise, with enough range for daily life and enough power to be genuinely fun, all at a price that used to be unthinkable for a new Tesla. Next, we're going to see how this car stacks up against the competition, and the results are pretty shocking. If you're finding this breakdown valuable, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss our future updates. Your support helps us create more in-depth content just like this. Now let's get back to it. The Tesla Model 2 isn't entering an empty arena. The budget EV space is heating up, but based on its price and specs, the Model 2 is ready to completely rewrite the rules. First, let's look at the established players in the US market, the Chevy Bolt and the Nissan Leaf. The new 2027 Chevy Bolt is expected to start around $28,000 to $32,000. While it's a solid car, the Model 2 undercuts it on price while offering better tech and, most importantly, access to the supercharger network. The 2026 Nissan Leaf starts at a similar price, but its base model has a much smaller battery and a range of only about 149 miles. To get a Leaf with a comparable 212-mile range, you have to upgrade to a trim that pushes the price over $36,000. The Model 2, with its predicted 250-plus mile range at a $25,000 price point, just blows it out of the water on paper. But the real fight might be against the international competition, especially from China. The biggest name is BYD. Their Seagull model is a sensation in China, offering up to 252 miles of range for a jaw-dropping price of around $12,000 to $15,000. However, as of early 2026, BYD has no immediate plans to sell its passenger cars in the US because of major trade tariffs and regulatory hurdles. So, while a $15,000 Seagull is a huge threat in other parts of the world, it's not a direct competitor in a US showroom right now. This gives the American-made Model 2 a critical home field advantage. Other automakers are scrambling. Ford announced it's working on its own affordable EV platform, targeting a $25,000 price point, but it's expected to arrive a year or more after the Model 2. Volkswagen is planning its ID.2 All for a 2026 launch in Europe with a similar price and range, but its US availability is still uncertain. This is where the Tesla ecosystem becomes its secret weapon. Even if another car can match the Model 2 on price or range, none of them can touch the scale, reliability, and sheer convenience of the Tesla supercharger network. For many people, especially those who can't charge at home, this is a massive deal-closing advantage. Throw in Tesla's proven software, over-the-air updates that constantly improve the car, and its lead in self-driving tech, and the total package becomes incredibly hard to beat. The Model 2 isn't just competing on specs, it's competing as a gateway to a mature and comprehensive EV world. It aims to offer better range, better performance, and smarter tech than its rivals, all for less money. If Tesla delivers, the Model 2 will not just compete with other budget EVs, it will take the fight directly to the world's best-selling gas cars like the Toyota Corolla and Honda Civic. So after digging through all the official details, the patents, and the expert analysis, we're left with one big question. Was the hype for the 2026 Tesla Model 2 justified? Based on the mountain of evidence, the answer is a resounding yes. This isn't just about an $18,000 car, which is still a best-case scenario that depends on incentives. It's about a $25,000 car that refuses to act like one. It's about getting over 250 miles of range, a fun rear-wheel drive platform, and a tech-forward interior that makes its rivals feel a decade old. The Tesla Model 2 is a monumental threat to the old guard of the auto industry. It attacks the Chevy Bolt and Nissan Leaf with better specs and a stronger brand. It builds a defense against the coming wave of low-cost Chinese EVs by leveraging American manufacturing and the unmatched supercharger network. And most importantly, it takes aim at the heart of the market, the affordable gas-powered cars that millions of people buy every single year. However, the entire promise rests on Tesla's ability to execute its radical new manufacturing plan. The unboxed process is ambitious and unproven at this scale. Hitting that $25,000 price target without screwing up the build quality will be the ultimate test of Tesla's engineering. There are still big questions. The final EPA range and its actual eligibility for tax credits will be critical. But if Tesla pulls this off, if they deliver a car that is even 80% of what has been promised, it will be a turning point for the entire industry. It will prove that electric cars don't have to be a choice between being affordable and being desirable. The Model 2 is set to become the EV for everyone, the car that finally tips the scales and pushes the world towards sustainable energy on a scale we've never seen before. The car isn't physically in our hands just yet, but the revolution it represents, that has already begun.